This ancient Japanese technique releases a tight Psoas and restores true presence in the body. You wake up with a heavy lower back, your steps feel short when you walk, and your breath seems stuck. All of this happens because the Psoas, the muscle that supports your spine and connects your pelvis to your femur, is compressed. When it hardens, the entire body stays in a state of chronic alert, blocking fluidity, presence, and even the ability to fully relax. What you're about to learn is an instant release technique, partial base support, extended exhalation, and vocal vibration that open what we call the release corridor, the exact space where the Psoas can finally let go. You can start right now. Breathe more slowly and feel where the weight is in your feet. This simple gesture already begins to prepare your body for what comes next. In just a few minutes, you'll feel your lower back lighter, your steps wider, your breath deeper, because the body responds when it receives consistent signals of safety. The full code for this release is about to be revealed. The secret is not in stretching the muscle forcefully, but in creating the conditions for it to recognize that it can let go. The Psoas is not just a hip flexor. It runs through the center of your body like an emotional support cable, connecting lumbar vertebrae to the femur. And that is where fear, shame, and threat-related memories settle as a permanent contraction. When you sit for long hours, when you live under invisible tension, when your breath rises and never drops, the Psoas records all of it as danger and responds by shrinking, protecting, locking. The technique you're learning now flips that logic. Instead of pulling, it offers space. Instead of force, geometry. In Eastern grounding traditions, practices like Tai Chi and Qigong, anchoring was never about muscular rigidity. It was about conscious intention, the weight that sinks through the heel, the breath that reaches the pelvis, the body that grows downward before it grows upward. When this happens, your internal verticality reorganizes effortlessly. The Psoas senses that the base is steady, that the ground is solid, that there is no threat, and then it softens. You don't convince the muscle, you change the signal it receives. What comes next is the scientific foundation that explains why this ancient gesture works, and why your body already knows how to respond, even if you've never done this before. Hermetic alchemy taught something the body has always known. Solve, et coagula, dissolve in order to reorganize. Before any new form can emerge, the old rigidity must be released. The center of the body, in the symbolic language of the alchemists, is the athanor, the oven where transformation happens not through violent fire, but through steady, gentle heat. The right intensity, the time it needs. A rigid Psoas doesn't need to be attacked. It needs to be dissolved with the same patience used to heat water until it changes state. And this is exactly what modern science has begun to map. The polyvagal theory, developed by Stephen Porges, revealed that the autonomic nervous system operates through 3 circuits, and that extended exhalation, combined with vocal vibration, activates the ventral branch of the vagus nerve, the one responsible for signaling safety to the entire body. When you exhale more slowly than you inhale, your heart rate slows down, muscle tone relaxes, and the cortex interprets there is no threat. The Psoas, once tightened to protect, can finally release. And the fascia around it, the connective tissue that surrounds muscle and organ, responds through what Robert Schleip called mechanotransduction. Low-intensity stimuli maintained over continuous time allow the tissue to slide, reorganize, release. It's not force, it's duration. Thomas Myers mapped this in his myofascial lines. The Psoas does not exist in isolation. It is part of a deep front line that connects the diaphragm, pelvic floor, tongue, and jaw. When one point in this chain softens, the entire line breathes better. Science did not invent anything, it simply gave names to what ancient practices had already been doing in silence. Now, you're going to learn how to create the space that Psoas needs to release, and it all starts with your feet. Stand up and shift your weight asymmetrically. 80 to 90% of your weight should go into your back leg, with the heel firmly grounded and the knee slightly bent. The front foot remains light, almost floating, just touching the ground to help you stay balanced. This geometry is not random. It creates an extension vector in the back hip, gently opening the groin without any need to pull or force. The Psoas responds to space, not to effort. Your pelvis needs a subtle adjustment. Perform a posterior pelvic tilt. Imagine the pubic bone gently rising toward your belly button as the sacrum drops downward. Don't overdo it. It's an internal movement, almost imperceptible, but just enough to reduce excessive lumbar lordosis. When the curve in your lower back decreases, the Psoas is no longer being constantly pulled by the vertebrae. It gains slack. It's like releasing a rope that was pulled too tight. If you place your hand on your lower back right now, you'll feel it flatter, closer to the imaginary wall behind you. The torso needs to be relaxed. Keep the sternum soft, without pushing the chest forward. Let the ribs naturally descend with each exhalation, without holding air in the chest. Shoulders relaxed, away from the ears. The posture is not stiff, it's soft, organized, and receptive. You are not forcing a position. You are creating the conditions for your body to recognize safety, and when the body feels that, it stops defending itself. What you've just set up is the release corridor, the exact space between the pelvis and the femur, where the Psoas can finally begin to unwind. It had been compressed because it had nowhere to go. Now it does. You are not stretching the muscle. You are offering it a way out. And the Psoas, when it senses that there is space and that the base is stable, begins to release. Not all at once, but layer by layer, breath by breath. Remember how you felt the weight in your feet at the beginning, that prepared your body for this moment. Feel it again, the back heel pressing into the ground, the front groin opening without effort. This is the point when your body begins to remember that it can let go because you gave it what it needed, grounding below and space at the center. Breath is the next code. Inhale through your nose naturally, but exhale at least twice as slowly. Let the air flow out as if you were blowing on a candle without putting it out. And as you exhale, make a soft, continuous hum, like a low hum under your breath. That sound isn't just for effect. It vibrates through your body, massaging the tissues from the inside out, reorganizing muscle tone without needing to touch anything. The vibration moves through the fascia, through the Psoas, and sends a message to your nervous system. There is no danger here. When the exhale is longer than the inhale, the ventral branch of the vagus nerve is activated, the one responsible for slowing the heart, relaxing tone, and signaling to the cortex that the environment is safe. The body shifts out of alert mode and allows release. Stay in that position, weight in the back leg, subtle pelvic tilt, relaxed torso, and breathe with the hum for 60 to 90 seconds. Don't force depth. Don't chase an intense feeling. Release comes from duration, not intensity. Then switch sides and repeat. 2 to 3 cycles are enough. Fascia responds better to low, steady stimulation than to strong, quick pulls. You are not breaking resistance. You are giving it time to dissolve on its own. Before you start, do 3 simple checks. Touch your lower back and feel whether it's tense or relaxed. Take a few steps and notice if your stride is short or open. Take a deep breath and observe how far the air goes. After the protocol, repeat the same 3 checks. Your lower back will feel softer, your stride more open, your breath deeper. If you feel discomfort in your lower back during the practice, reduce the range or place one hand on a wall. If your balance feels unstable, keep a chair beside you. If the lumbar curve increases instead of decreasing, return to the pelvic tilt, pubic bone gently rising, sacrum lowering. Your body will let you know when something isn't right. Listen, adjust, continue. This technique doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for presence. The protocol you just learned works because the Psoas responds to 3 simultaneous signals. Physical space, the geometry of the base that opens the groin without pulling. Tonic time, the continuous duration of the stimulus, not its intensity. And autonomic safety, the vagal signal that comes from extended exhalation and vocal vibration. When all 3 converge, the fascia releases. The muscle stretches without reflexive resistance, and the lower back finally softens. If you have limited mobility, sit in a chair and do the pelvic tilt right there. If your balance is unstable, use the wall for support. If there's intense discomfort, reduce the range and focus only on your breath. The body responds to what you can offer now, not to what it's supposed to handle. The alchemists called the center of the body the athanor, the philosophical furnace where transformation happens, not through violent fire, but through steady, gentle heat. The right intensity held for the right amount of time. Rigidity transmutes into mobility, contraction into fluidity, chronic protection into available presence. What you just did wasn't about forcing change. It was about creating the conditions for it to arise on its own. The spine grows from within, the stride expands, the breath reaches the pelvis, and you feel, truly feel, that something has reorganized. Not because you believe it, but because your body changed its state. Anchor this experience in a phrase you can take into everyday life. Stable base, gentle tone, space at the center. Whenever your lower back feels heavy, whenever your stride shortens, whenever your breath rises too high, return to this triad. It is not an empty mantra. It is a somatic map that restores what you just felt. The body doesn't forget what works. It just needs to be reminded that it can return. Frances was 57 years old, carrying in her lower back the weight of decades unlived. Her steps were short, held back, as if the ground might give way at any moment. Her breath moved in and out too quickly, never reaching her pelvis, never letting her body fully relax. She woke up every day with that same feeling, a compressed center, a spine with no space, a presence that felt missing. It wasn't sharp pain. It was chronic holding, a stiffness that had settled in so slowly she no longer remembered what it felt like to be light. Frances lived inside a body that never stopped defending itself, even when there was no threat. When she learned the protocol, the first thing she felt was how strange it was. 80% of her weight in the back leg, heel grounded, knee slightly bent. The subtle pelvic tilt, pubic bone rising, sacrum dropping. The extended exhale with a soft hum vibrating through her center. In the first 30 seconds, nothing changed. But at 60, something gave. Her lower back softened. Her groin opened without any pulling. Her breath dropped, truly dropped, all the way down to her pelvis for the first time in years. Frances placed her hand on her lower back and felt that it was flat, soft, receptive. She walked across the room and her stride lengthened on its own. No effort, no fear. She couldn't explain what had happened. She only knew that something inside her had returned. Presence, internal verticality, the feeling that her body could be inhabited again, not just carried around. Frances didn't need to believe in anything. She just needed to feel, and her body responded. Place your hand on your lower back and feel if it's soft, receptive. Take 3 deep breaths, letting the air reach your pelvis, and notice whether your exhale finds space where there was once tension. Feel your heel on the ground, not just touching it, but pressing into it, anchored. These 3 markers confirm that something has reorganized. The lower back has softened, the breath has dropped, the base has stabilized. This isn't belief, it's somatic verification. Whenever the old pattern returns, heavy lower back, short steps, shallow breath, use the return point, silently repeat. Stable base, gentle tone, space at the center. Exhale slowly and shift your weight back into your heels. It takes 30 seconds. It's repeatable, measurable, and brings you back to your axis. The body doesn't need to relearn everything. It just needs to be reminded of what works. The Psoas wasn't only holding tension, it was holding the story of every time you held yourself back, every breath that never dropped, every step you didn't take. Releasing it is not about mechanics. It's about reinstalling in the body the permission to take up space without fear. When the base quiets and the exhale drops, the center finally opens, and what was compressed for years begins to unwind in minutes. Not because you fought the tension, but because you gave your body the signals it needed to let go. Grounding, time, safety. The body doesn't respond to arguments. It responds to somatic coherence. And when you offer that, the shift is not gradual, it's immediate. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke once wrote, "Perhaps all the things that frighten us are, in their deepest essence, something helpless that wants our help." The tightness in your Psoas was never your enemy. It was contraction waiting for space to dissolve. Verticality doesn't come from forcing your posture. It emerges when your center is free, when your lower back is supported, when your breath reaches your pelvis and presence returns. You don't build this. You remove what was in the way. And then the body remembers what it has always been. A temple, not a saddle. An axis, not a prison. A living presence, not chronic survival. The rigidity you carried wasn't your fate. It was a code, and codes can be rewritten. What seemed permanent was just a continuous signal of alert that was never turned off. You've turned it off now. You felt your lower back soften, your stride lengthen, your breath drop. And this doesn't disappear when the video ends. It stays. Because the body doesn't forget what worked. It was only waiting for you to remember it. Not as a machine to be fixed, but as somatic wisdom waiting to be recognized. When you give the body what it needs, it gives back what you forgot, the ability to live inside your own life with grace. The ground beneath your feet, the space at your center, the breath that drops. This is not a technique, it's the reinstallation of presence. And presence is what turns the body into a temple, movement into prayer, and life into something worth sustaining. The Psoas releases when the base quiets, not because you believed, but because you felt. And what you felt now is verifiable, repeatable, and yours. The body doesn't lie when it receives the right signal. It simply responds, and that response is what brings you back to yourself. If this content resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. This helps us expand this field of knowledge even further. I would love to know how you feel the instant Psoas release in your body. Write in the comments. I practice the ancient Japanese technique and release my tight Psoas. Now, That affirmation seals your somatic integration and honors the ancestral technique that just transformed your center. And don't stop here. Click on the screen and dive into another transformational video on the channel. Each protocol brings you closer to the presence you were born to inhabit. Remember, when the bass quiets and the exhale drops, the Psoas releases, and your inner verticality is restored.